Happy April, everybody. So we are going to be doing magical horses, meaning any horse that you cannot get in real life. Those are the kinds that we're drawing, Pegasus, unicorn, those types of things. But we're going to do it a little bit differently than we've been doing Frozen. In Frozen class, we always had a picture we were trying to copy, right? This class is going to be drawing from your imagination. But I'm going to give you some tips to how to make it look the way you want it. Sometimes when you draw and I want to draw something super cute, and then I start drawing and it doesn't look super cute, and I don't know why. I mean, I've learned why now, but I'll show you with that. So for this class, you need 2 pieces of paper or 2 pages in your sketchbook. One is for practicing just parts of the horse. I usually use some kind of paper that I don't need anymore. Here's notes from a fashion class that I had to take. History of fashion, very interesting. I love that class. But I don't need my notes anymore, so now I'm going to use the back from practice. And then I have a clean piece of paper for when I do my final drawing. So let's start with our practice page, and I'm going to fold mine into fourths in half this way.
But did she show you guys the picture that we're going to do?
No.
No?
In half this way. I'm just going to draw lines on mine so you can see my 4 sections. And I'll zoom in on one so we can see what I'm drawing here. So the first thing we're going to learn about horses, today we're just working on the heads, no bodies, just heads. And we're going to take a look at how the size of circles will change the way your horse looks. So I'm going to do 3 different heads. You can draw along with me if you want these in your notes. If we draw 1 circle big and 1 circle small, just like that. So we'll turn into a horse's head in a moment here. And connect up those shapes with a straight line on top and a curved line on the bottom. This will make our horse look very young. You can even doodle in a big cute eye, little nose. But if I draw the circles about the same size, do the same thing, flat line on top, curved line on the bottom. Now my horse is going to look a little older. Whoops, older. Right? If you had to pick which one's the baby, which one's the mom, very easy to tell. But the only thing I changed was the size of the nose circle. So your size is going to help you with the age of the horse. If you're just wondering what happens if you make 1 circle for the eye, the cranium, smaller than the nose circle, you get looking a little bit more cartoony of a horse. This is ones that you'll see on like Looney Tunes and stuff where they have really big nose, little head. So this one we'll call even more more cartoony, more silly. Next thing we're going to look at, I'll keep those on the screen in case you're still taking notes or sketching in your book. Spacing. In all of these examples, the 2 circles are touching one another. So let's take that cute one and draw it again over here. But this time I'm going to leave a little bit of space in between my 2 circles. Straight line on top, curved line on the bottom. You can put on a little eye.
Oh, I'm here.
Hi, Mickey. Again, you can tell really easily if we look at this one and we look at this one and go, which one's the baby? So easy to tell that one's the baby. So this one looks a little older. What happens if we go even farther away? starts not even looking like a horse anymore, more like an anteater. And it works with any type of circle size. So even if I do the circles the same size and put them farther away from one another, the horse is going to look older. Kind of makes sense because as we grow bigger, we get taller, or some of us get taller, some of us don't. I have a friend who's very short. But anyway, in general, you get taller. Things get farther apart. So if you want your horse to look young and small and cute, now you know how. You got to keep those circles pretty close together, and then one has to be big and one has to be small. Now, as always, let me know if I'm going too fast. I'm going to go ahead and start on our third box here. Over here, we're going to take a look at the eyes, specifically the proportion. I know that's a big word, proportion. Proportion meaning how big should one thing be in relationship to another thing. Imagine when a tiny, tiny baby wears a big old cowboy hat. That would be out of proportion. It doesn't fit the baby, right? But if you had a tiny little baby baseball cap and you tried to put it on me, it also wouldn't fit because it's not in proportion. So let's use that same head that we had where we have one big circle, one little circle, and I'm going to do this same head twice so we can compare the differences. If I make the eye very, very large, My Little Pony style, color that in, it's going to look way more cartoony, but also very cute. If I make the eye tiny, it'll look a little bit more like a natural horse, but not as cute. So we can take a look at the eye proportion when we get to our drawing. And lastly, the magic part, magic, is going to be in the mane being the horse's hair. So horses normally have just long hair on the back of their necks, but maybe that hair isn't hair. Maybe it is.
Maybe it's fire hair.
Absolutely. I was just going to ask for suggestions. Thank you. Fire. So when we think of fire, what do we think of? I usually think of candle flames. I think of that kind of like raindrop shape like that, right? But we know that if we do this over and over on our horse, it's going to look too much the same, too much repetitive. So I have to think about making them different. So if I make a fire mane, I'm going to make one small and then one kind of bigger and then maybe one kind of medium. And I'm going to have it all flying upward like a campfire. And it'll be something like that. I want to get the feeling of fire, thinking about what fire does, wiggling and wobbling and going up. What's something else the mane could be instead of fire or hair?
How about with little butterflies on it?
Butterfly hair. I like that too. If we had hair that turned into butterflies, we would start out with our hair. And what's something we do with hair a lot? Big curve, little curve. Big curve, little curve. And we also do a lot of thick and then go down to thin. And then every once in a while we can add in those little butterflies, like a little pair of wings, a couple of ovals. You could do the same thing with stars. or hearts, or a whole mixture of things. I'm thinking the opposite of fire. You might want to do like Elsa's horse. We've done that before, and do some, whoops, water mane. And when we think of water, water generally goes down with gravity, flows down. So we think of waterfalls. And then we'll make like a raindrop at the bottom, make it more like it's flowing. If it's starting to look too much like goop or too much like tentacles, you just make it a little smaller. You make the little raindrops or the end of the mane a little smaller. Tiny little raindrops. You have some falling off even. Boop, boop. Same thing with fire. You can have a little bit of fire flying away.
Oh, can I say an idea for a mane?
Absolutely. I've got one more little spot right here.
I know it's like in My Little Pony, there's like ponies with like flowy galaxy manes that look like the night sky.
Ooh, galaxy manes.
Like Princess Luna.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Princess Luna. Does the shape of it look like regular hair and then it's colored like the galaxy?
No, it's like flowy.
It's like really flowy. It moves, and then she has a strand that's like clear with glitter in it.
This sounds amazing. I need to check a picture really quick so I know what you guys are talking about. What's her name again?
Princess Luna?
Princess Luna from My Little Pony. Take 2 seconds here with the power of Google. Show me what's going on with Luna's flowy hair. Oh yeah, super flowy and then glittery and pretty. Awesome. So we can do that, definitely. Super flowy hair. It's a lot of the same, like let's say this is the mane or the back of the neck. We're starting with those big curves and then it'll get littler and littler as it goes. Big curve, medium curve, smaller curve, smallest curve. But we don't want all of them to look like stripes. I don't want to just copy it over and over. It'll look like a flag blowing instead of hair. So I have to look for places where I can make it get thin or very close together, and then also go very far away, and then thin again. So we could definitely do flowy hair on our magical horse if we wanted. So that's just a little warm up. I don't keep these drawings. I usually throw them away. That's why I use just scrap paper. But if you find it handy and it's in your sketchbook, you can refer back to it also. So let's go to our real drawing now. I know it's a little freaky not having a picture to copy, but part of the fun of drawing is being able to draw it from your imagination. So first of all, let's pick. Somebody give me a suggestion. Should we make a young one, an older one, or a silly one?
Young.
A young one. All right. So we know if I want to make a young one, what kind of circles do I need? One big one and let's look at our cheat sheet. What do we need? We need one big one and one small one. And if I want to make it look really young, those two have to touch. So I'm going to make my smaller circle touch. Draw very lightly. I know it looks dark on my paper, so it'll show up on camera, but for yours, you can draw very lightly. We're going to do a couple of heads on this picture, so you don't have to worry about filling up the page or anything. And after we have our circles, it'll be a straight line on top to connect those up. And a little bit of a curved line on the bottom. To make that one big shape, and then I can go ahead and erase my circles. They have done their job so well that they're no longer needed. So I can erase those out of my drawing.
Are we supposed to be drawing along?
We're going to be doing this several times, so you can just watch the first time, you can draw along, you can make up your own, that's up to you.
Oh, okay.
This class is more about drawing from imagination, but if you want to copy me, that's fine. I'm going to add a neck. I like to have my paper horizontal, but you can have it vertical if you want. The neck is going to be very similar to the lines we just drew here, where we have one straight. This one's going to be straighter. And then the one in front, probably a little bit curvier. Then I'll put a little, pretty much like a number 6. A little nose there, a little nostril. And right under that nose, I'm going to curve the mouth around. You can make your horse smile or frown or just kind of be indifferent. I'm going to make mine smile. And next, I'm going to erase this part of the circle that we don't need anymore. This makes it easier to tell where the jawline is, where the head really is, so that it's easier to place the eye. And you can have big rounded chipmunk cheeks, or if you don't like that much cheek, you can just erase the line even more and just have it overlap a little bit. That's up to you. I'm going to do kind of in the middle. And then for the eye, I'm going to do a little bit of a rounded triangle. There's one part of the triangle, another part of the triangle, and the last part of the triangle. 3 curved lines instead of straight lines. Of course, if you just want to do an oval eye, that's fine too. And we can do 2 things with this eye. Let me go ahead and show you on my scrap paper here. We have this kind of rounded triangle. And you have 2 options. You can have your horse look forward by coloring in the front part there. Or you can have your horse look at you by putting the oval on this side. Shall I do A or shall I do B?
B.
B. Okay, I'm going to put a curve on this side. And I'll leave the top white so it's nice and shiny and magical. Let's color the rest in. If you want to give your horse some eyelashes, we can do that right now. Horses in real life have really long eyelashes to keep the flies away. And then ears. We're going to do that similar thing where we do a straight line on one side. And you can do the straight line on the other side too. It'll look a little bit like antennas for a moment. Then we'll just do a little tip of the ear, a little roundedness. Now they kind of look like candy canes. And then we're going to add one more curve on the back. So they're a little bit like the raindrop shape that appears so often in these classes. Then I'll separate out the pink part, and the important thing to remember with this is it's going to be very close to the flat edge and far away from the curved edge. So you can see there's a thicker white space there and a thinner space there. If I do it even, I'm going to do this one wrong. If I do it even like a rabbit ear, it looks a little funny. It's not terrible, but it just looks a little bit twisted. Not twisted like evil, but twisted like it's turning towards us. So I'm going to make this straight edge have a thin bit of white in between, and then on this side it'll be thicker. And lastly, she needs a mane. Anyone have a suggestion for what type of mane she should have?
Didn't you do a butterfly one?
We did do a butterfly one. So let's start then. Let's remember we go big curve, little curve. It's going to cover up that ear, so I'll just erase that out. Same thing on the neck. We'll go big curve, a little curve. Remember to try to make some parts skinny, usually on the straight parts of the hair, and then thick where it's curving, thick where it's curving. We can do that again. Big curve, little curves. And when I draw it again, I want to do it thick on a turn. Now we're going straight, so I'm going to go a little thinner. Now we're turning again, so I'm going to make it thick. I want to try to get that variation in there so it'll look more like hair. When I do this and I make it even all the way down, it looks more like a noodle or a tentacle. So I want to try to have on the curves, get it thick, get it thin, get it thick again, and already it looks more like hair. So I can do that again. Big curve, little curves. And they'll get a little bit smaller as I get down to the end of the neck. And we can add in butterflies. We can add in stars. What else did I say? Hearts and hearts. Oops, messed up my heart. That's up to you to decorate. I'll give you guys 2 more minutes and then we're going to practice another one. One more minute and then we'll move on to our next one. All right, I'm going to keep this one on camera just in case you need to look at it. But sticking to our theme of imagination, let's say I want to draw her older sister. What can I do to make the next one look a little bit older? Let's check our notes. Let's see what we can do. Oh, I can put a little more space in between, or I can make the nose circle a little bigger. I want her to look very similar to her sister, so I'm going to keep this small nose size, but I'm just going to add a little more space. Oh, maybe that's too close to her, huh? Let me move that. We'll move her over here. So I'll have the same kind of big circle, but I'm not going to have it touch. I'm going to go a little farther away and make that small circle. And then I need to connect these circles into one big shape. So I'm going to use straight line on the top. And a slightly curved one on the bottom. A little bit of a frowny line curve. I can put that same squished little number 6 for the nostril. I can put that same smile. Then I'll add a neck. I'm going to do it very lightly because last time I ended up covering it all with mane anyway. So I'm going to make this very light. Erase out those circles that we don't need anymore. And put in that cheek or that jaw line. Then we'll add the eye, and I make kind of a triangle with those rounded, curved lines. I try to keep it above the nostril. If I put the eye way down here, it'll look a little funny. And we have that choice again. Should we use looking straight ahead, A, or looking at us, B? Anybody have a preference?
A.
A this time? All right. So I'm going to put a curve right there. Leave the top shiny. And then color in the rest. Maybe this time I'll do some Elsa styled eyelashes. Just one big thick shape. And then for the ears, we're going to do those shapes that are a little flatter on the front edge, a little more curvy on the back edge. So I go straight up with a little curve at the end. Come down diagonal and in a curve. And then on the other side, she'll need an ear, so I'll make it lightly. Again, that one got covered up by her mane, so it might happen again. I'll just draw it lightly. Straighter edge in front, little curve at the back. And the shape for the inside of the ears, what's the trick? We need to keep the lines close together on the flat side, farther away on the curved side. And then Hanya, how about you choose what kind of mane this time? You can type it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. We've got fire, water, flowy.
Maybe waves.
Waves, I like waves, wavy water, we could do that. So let's start again with the front part here. This is called the forelock. If you want to learn about horse anatomy, the forelock. And we're going to make some wavy type hair, but we're going to do that same thing where we start big and then we get smaller and then we get smaller. Big, little smaller, little smaller. Erase anything that it covers up. If you want it to look watery, of course, you can have those little water drops flying off. I'm going to have more of this forelock go behind the head, so I'm just going to put a little line, little wavy line right there to show that it's also going behind the head. In fact, if you think it's so long that it comes out this side too, you can keep doing your big wave, littler wave. Same thing on the neck. Big wave, big curve, medium wave, littler waves. Trying to make it get thinner as it gets down to the tip so that it doesn't look like a little tentacle or noodle. Unless you're making like a ramen horse, that would be the time to use noodle hair. I'll keep filling it in. Big curves, little curves. Maybe that one curved too much. Huh? Maybe cut it off of there. Having those bits of water coming off the waves. And we have time for one more that you are going to draw all by yourself. What? But I will show you the steps on camera so that you don't get lost. You're going to do one, make your own choices, and just give you the choices. Step 1, you're going to need to make 2 circles. If they touch, it'll look younger. If they don't touch, a little older. So on your paper or on a new piece of paper, you're going to make that first choice. Two, you're going to connect the shape. So that means a straight line on top and a curved line on the bottom. Whoa, I guess I do need my light. Thought it was bright enough in my room, but I guess not. Three, you're going to add that little number 6 for a nose and put the mouth right underneath. Four, you're going to make an eye shape with curving lines like a triangle. You don't have to go as fast as my steps, by the way. I just don't want to leave anybody waiting. They're all up on the screen for you to go back and look at your own pace. And then 5, you're going to decide, is your horse going to look forward? Or is your horse going to look at you? 6. You can do eyelashes if you like. We did one that looked a little bit more like it was from Frozen, from Elsa. Or you can do the ones that have individual lashes flicking off. Seven is going to be the ears, flat on one side, small little bump for the tip, bigger curve for the back. 8 is if you're putting in that line to separate the pink part from the fur part. It has to be skinny on that side, a little thicker on that side. For the neck, do a faint little head here. We need a long line on the top. Excuse me, shorter line on the bottom. Number 10 is the forelock. So if here's my little horse sketch.
How much more time do we have on this?
We have about 5-6 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, and is it okay if I go a bit off? Like I'm doing a horse,
Absolutely.
but it's like I do off style.
Yeah, go ahead and do your own style. That is totally cool. You can do fire that goes up, or you can do water that goes down, or you can make up your own. That's up to you. Remember, what we're really looking for is a big curve and then littler curves at the end. We're also looking for it to be thicker where it starts growing out of the horse's head and then thin at the tip. Then 11, you need to do that along the neck as well. If you want the easy way, you have it flop on the other side of the neck. So you can just do little curves like this, like it's going the other side, and then you only have to draw a little bit. Or you can do what we've been doing and you can have the mane fall on this side where we can see it in all its loveliness. We just want to make sure that we have big curves at the top, smaller curves at the bottom. Even if you're doing fire hair and it's going up, same thing, big and then little, big and then little. Maybe a little thicker for fire, huh? That looks more like seaweed. That'd be kind of cool though on a mermaid horse, have some seaweed mane. Step 12, you're going to sign your name. And if you want to, you can add the date. We're so happy that we've been getting art from students, but some of you don't write your name, so we don't know who did it. We don't know who to credit it to. So be sure to sign your name. Or at least name your file with your name. Then when the file name comes up, we'll go, oh, this file name has Betsy's name in it. It must be Betsy's. Just about 3 more minutes to finish up your own magical horse head portrait. Two more minutes.
Shh. Shh, I'm gonna miss something. I love you. I love you.
One more minute. Alrighty, time is up. I am going to turn off my camera and take a look at everybody's work. Hold it up to your camera if you're ready to share, or in Michaela's case, I will let her share the screen, but let's take a look at Callista's. Replace my spotlight. Beautiful! You even did the body. My goodness. I love that big cute eye too with the eyelashes. So cute. Very My Little Pony style. Ooh, there's the stars and the butterflies. Very nice.
Lekker.
How about you, Hania? Did you want to share or are you going to pass? I'll let you think about it. Frank, are you ready? Woohoo! Wow, look at the hair on the one on the bottom. That one's really got some wind action going. Love it. And then Mickey, did you want to share anything or not today? Oh, Hania's
I
ready.
do.
Let me go ahead.
You kind of have it. Just like the way you draw hair, I've been trying to like replicate it, and it leaves like a bunch of lines. Cause
Nice
oh, sorry,
job,
I'm supposed
Hania.
to share now.
No worries.
Oh, something is
Love
wrong.
it. Something is wrong with the screen share?
Something is wrong. Hold on. Okay, never mind. It let me do it now.
Yeah, there you go. Now it's screen sharing. Cool. So what's going on with the hair?
I also did. Yeah, I just have trouble doing that style of hair, like where it flows and like it, has lines and stuff.
Mm,
I'm much better at simpler hair, drawing simpler hair.
yeah,
Also, I
simple hair
did
is good too.
little color.
But even on your reference picture here with the red, yellow, green, I can
That's
see
not a
it.
ref. Yeah, just more
curve.
like inspiration picture.
Yeah, but even on there, I can see this artist too. Uses big curves where it is closer to the body and then gets smaller curves as it goes away. So even if you do a big shape, same stuff still applies. Love it. Well, I'm going to give you guys a challenge
Yeah,
that you may
okay.
or may not want to do. But if you practice 3 heads on your own and show me next Friday, I will draw a horse just for you. I will email it to you, a picture that you get to choose. I want
Ooh.
water mane, I want a unicorn horn, I want star earrings, whatever you want. If you practice first and show me next Friday, I will do that for you. But that's all we have time for today. So I will see you guys hopefully next week. Bye-bye.